And welcome back. Now let's have that discussion, that interview with one gentleman, Paul Ilado. Let me just say that interviewing your fellow journalist is one of the hardest things ever. But we'll try. Paul Ilado, Group Head of Content Radio Africa, as well as sitting at the Presidential Debate Secretariat. But most importantly, what we're going to be talking about is the upcoming presidential debate slated for next month. Paul Ilado, karibu to the show.
Eric, thank you very much for having me.
Karibu sana.
I was telling you earlier, I'm not used to speaking in the morning.
But you'll try.
But this is a challenge.
Absolutely.
I hope we'll rise to it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. So the big event is here, and it is not something new to us. It has happened in the past, and now we also have it coming next month. Let me start by asking you, are we ready for the debate?
First, you have to look at the wider context of what we are trying to do. Debates are a very important aspect of democracy, and in any part of the world where people seriously practice democracy, an opportunity to explain yourself, or for the people to be able to interrogate the policies and the candidates who are running is extremely important.
Yeah.
What we are seeking to do here is what we've done in the last two elections. We first had the first debate in 2013, and it was well attended at the time. We had another one in 2017, and this is the third one.
Yeah.
We have learned along the way. We think this would be better in many ways. For example, we have a very shorter list of presidential candidates approved by IEBC. It makes our lives easy. You remember in the last debate, we had to make last-minute adjustments to accommodate people who the court had ordered that we must include them in the debate. It became a bit messy. So we think that this one would be relatively much better compared to the last two. And yes, we are almost ready. We're probably about 80% ready in terms of preparation. We hope to tie the loose ends in the next few days.
Because when you look at the presidential debate, it's not something new. In the States, they hold it after every election year, and you see candidates do attend and articulate their agenda for the nation. Perhaps to somebody who doesn't understand, how important is it even to the common mwananchi?
Eric, look at our politicians today. They spend a lot of their time in rallies, in churches, in groupings. But all these audiences are captive audiences. These are places where people are not able to ask the candidate questions. In fact, I have seen some of the forums politicians have been undertaking, and you can see they're well choreographed. People are not given a chance to ask the critical questions, the uncomfortable questions, the most difficult questions. What we're seeking to do with the presidential debates is provide an opportunity to interrogate these candidates. And when someone appears, for 90 minutes before primetime audience, you're not just able to listen to what they have to say, but you have to look at their body language, because that is a much louder communication about them and how they are able to deal with issues, including their temperament. If you want to be president, we have to see you. We have to be able to scrutinize everything that you're doing, including how you might react, to some of these things.
Exactly,
because
when you're pushed to the corner.
In that position, you'll be insulted, you'll be praised. We would like to see how will you deal with those things. Most importantly, they're praising issues. We want to hear what you have to do, what you're going to do with education, what you're going to do with security, governance, the fight against corruption, and we will take you to task. So give us the answers. So anyone who is serious about becoming our leader, this is the forum. And we're placing it just closer to the election, because you've had all the time to campaign. Now come and sit with us and tell us, because there will be wider thematic areas which we will share with you and say, look, address us on these issues. The next important thing is that we are going to take questions from the public, from the audience themselves, so that Kenyans are able to ask these people the issues that are important to them and hear their responses. So for me, 7:30 p.m. is prime time. And this kind of debates are going to be aired by everybody, from radio stations that we have. I think there are about 200 radio stations,
yes,
to the TV stations that exist. Now, you must be out of your mind not to take this opportunity to come to this debate.
It must be a tedious job, because when you talk about the preparation that come with it, 200 radio stations, it has to be synchronized in such a way that everybody gets an opportunity to broadcast that debate. And when you look at the presidential debate, it's not just like any other debate that we hold at the the barazas, the marketplaces, and what have you. But this is an opportunity for each and every presidential candidate to come out in the open and tell people, no, this is me. And as you said, temperament, body language, articulation, mastery of your language, and so much more. But then, before I get into that, how much money is spent on this? Someone not to miss.
Broadcast is a very expensive exercise.
Absolutely.
And to be able to put together this event,
yes,
there is a lot of logistical support that you need. Our estimates and our budgets are running into about 200 million plus.
That's a huge budget.
You must secure the venue.
Yes.
You must be able to get the broadcasting equipment there. There's a whole team of people behind the scenes getting these things done. It's a huge investment. For us, it's not really an opportunity to make money. We believe as responsible social corporates, we have to be able to provide the platform for Kenyans to be able to see their leaders, to be able to interrogate them. So it's a cost that we are willing to bear. And we think that with this kind of investment, the 4 presidential candidates should be able to just come for 90 minutes.
Exactly.
Let's get this over and done with, and we'll move on to do other things. The most important thing about this debate as well is that if you look at, the history of elections, a month or two, you'll have significant number of the undecided, because most people would have made up their minds about who they want to vote for.
Yes.
This is the place you need to be able to convince these 10% or so people who are not decided. You remember, for one to become president, you need to win 50 plus 1.
Plus 1.
That's the vote. So where do you get this?
You might get 50 plus 1 during that debate.
Absolutely.
Right.
Because people will be sitting at home or in bars or in places, listening to you very keenly, looking at you very keenly, and making up their mind, is this the person I want as my leader for the next 5 years?
A different person from the rallies that we see.
So, Wajakoya is talking about his things out here. William Ruto is talking about his things out here. Raila is doing the same. Wahiga is doing the same. But can we all come together so that we look at you in one frame and say, okay, this one looks like the best candidate for us? It's really a great and fantastic opportunity for both Kenyans and their prospective leaders to engage.
The Secretariat is so busy as at now, because we are coming to the tail end of the preparation and fixing the loose ends. The questions that the caucus come up with, how do they arrive at the questions? Where do they pin? Where do they get the thematic areas? How do they decide that this is the best question to ask, apart from the normal question that we usually ask these politicians on the political rallies or press conferences?
So the Presidential Secretariat is formed by different units. One of them is the research unit. We have drawn heads of research from all media houses to help us decipher some of these things. So we'll get tons of questions, but we're very clear about the wider thematic areas that we're covering, from governance to education to all sorts of social issues. They will now help us put those questions together. We're working with the universities as well. We have lots of lecturers helping us with putting together all these frameworks. So in the end, it's not our questions. This would be content that's generated from not just the public, but subjected to a lot of testing in line with the framework that we have developed. Obviously, we can't ask every single question, but we want to give you a broader picture of what we believe, based on research, is the most important thing Kenyans want to hear. They want to hear about jobs. They want to hear about the economy. What do you have to do? What plans do you have to be able to revive the economy? They want to hear about CBC, education. You know, what are you going to do, you know, with our children? Those are the most important things among others. So we'll try and, you know, capture them within all these 90 minutes. Of course, it's not an easy task.
No.
But we're going to be strict enough to say, you know, the time is 2 minutes for you to be able to say what you want to say, respond or rebut. We are going to insist that within these 90 minutes, you have to be very precise, you know, with your answers.
Yes.
So the onus is on the candidates to prepare themselves about all these issues. Because if you want to be my president, Eric, I expect you to have knowledge
articulate
about
for me everything.
Almost everything.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
So show me your ability. Show me your understanding. Okay? The grasp of national issues. If you don't understand them, then you don't deserve the vote.
But some would not expect to subject themselves to such kind of a debate, because a presidential debate is completely different from the rallies that we have outside here. Because rallies, you know, they say, I promised this, I promised that, I did this, propaganda there, propaganda here, mudslinging your opponent there. But this is completely different. Some would say that the questions have been pushed to some other candidates. How true is that?
Now, this is this is one of the things that we are guarding very closely.
Yes.
First, the team that is working on the questions is led by the editorial leaders of all the media houses.
Different media houses.
Yes.
Yes.
So independence is critical. Okay. Confidentiality is critical. We will not share any questions, any specific questions with any candidate until 10 minutes into the debate. But we will give a general guideline that we will ask you about security, we'll ask you about land, we'll ask you about the fight against corruption. You go and prepare, okay? But we not tell you how we will frame the question. We expect to ask you, it's like an exam.
Yes.
When you arrive, then we will give you a chance. Then we'll ask you the question. So really, those who will come to this debate, and we're hoping all of them will come, will have to do their homework well. So that the moderators will be able to ask the questions and get the right answers from them. The other aspect is actually the moderation. You know, we've had people previously saying we don't like so-and-so, we don't like Eric, you know, but I can tell you for sure, we have developed a clear criteria on how we will decide who moderates the debate. It has to be someone with wider knowledge, with lots of experience in terms of, you know, broadcast interviewing and experience, among other things. So we have names, including you, Eric. So we hope that, Victor.
Oh, yes.
We're hoping that at the end of the day, we will cut the list into 2-3 people so that we are able to do a professional job. Our work is not to take sides. Our work is to be able to just afford the forum to both the candidates and the people of Kenya to engage.
Let me be specific here, Paul. The Deputy President raised an issue with the media, with a particular media station. Has this been handled pretty well?
You need to look at what constitutes the presidential debates team. This is a grouping drawn from every single media house.
Yes.
It represents the industry. It's led by the media owners, the Kenya Editors Guild, and the Media Council of Kenya, which is a government institution. Now, when we come and sit together, we all leave, you know, our institutions and the policies of our institutions, and come and begin to look at this from a very different perspective. Now, if the Deputy President has an issue with one particular media house, we have encouraged him and other people to raise their issues with that particular media house. Because we don't speak for any media house. We speak for the presidential debates team. And if he's unhappy with the responses that the media house gives him, he has a second opportunity. Go to the Media Council. They have a Media Complaints Commission. They will be able to listen to him. And the Media Complaints Commission is a quasi-court. It's like a court. They will be able to issue an order which will be respected by the respective media houses. So for us, really, we think that you know, you may have an issue with one particular person, but please allow us to just give Kenyans an opportunity to interrogate what your thinking is, what your policies are, and what you're promising us. You can see in 100 days, people are promising all sorts of things.
Yes.
We just want to understand the finer detail. How will you be able to achieve this? That's more important to us as we move this, democracy into the next level.
Fair enough. What is the response from the candidates, 4 of them? That's Honorable Odinga, Deputy President, Honorable Mwaura, as well as Wajakoya.
Oh, you'll be surprised.
Yes.
We think all of them will come.
That's to be a good debate.
Yeah, we've had discussions behind the scenes.
Yes.
We've met all of them, and we have been able to explain to them what we think. Please remember, we started this preparation last year. So there's a lot of work that has gone on. It's been a continuous process. And really, even at that point, we have been in touch with their teams. So they are well informed about what we are doing. We have had discussions with Wajakoya. You know, I mean, he's happy to come. Raila Odinga's team, you know, is happy to present their candidate. Waigo Mwaura as well, you know, has said he will come. So the only person that, you know, we're waiting for confirmation from is the Deputy President. Yes. And from our discussions with him, we believe that he will be able to come.
Paul, paint for me a picture, because in 2017 I was at Quer during that function. How different will it be this time around? From the past, the mistakes, the loose ends, that some of the mistakes that we faced as a media, how different will it be this time around?
You know, the beauty of doing something repeatedly is that you are able to learn. You make your mistakes, but you learn from them.
Absolutely.
We made terrible mistakes in 2013. Right. We made more mistakes in 2017. We will make some mistakes in this one.
But we learn from them.
I can tell you for sure that we will be better in terms of organization, because we have been dealing with some of those things for the last few months. In terms of our presentation, we will be better. In terms of the hosts, you know, we are going to choose the best people, not just to moderate the debate itself, but also to undertake the analysis before and after. And we'll have a research team, okay, with us all the time, so that if there are any issues that emerge at the time, there's a quick discussion around it, we all agree, you know, there's a whole system in place that then allows us to be able to accommodate as many views as possible, but also ask the questions that are most relevant and important. We have a social media team as well, you know, in place. So we will take a lot of feedback, you know, from, you know, social media spaces. So in terms of difference, I think we're better organized now, because some of us have done this is the 3rd time we're doing it. So really the institutional memory exists, and we are very sure that we will deliver a better debate, a credible debate, and a debate that Kenyans will remember.
We've talked about a candidate, but we're forgetting one important person here, the common mwananchi. This show belongs to them. How will they participate and get their voices heard during the debate?
Very good question. Like I said, we're just providing a forum. This is an engagement between the people of Kenya and their potential leaders. Within the next few weeks, we will announce ways in which Kenyans can participate. First, we have created social media handles, so they can send us questions through there. We will also ask people to send us questions directly, you know, send us an email or whatever memorandum you have on what you need, and we'll have a deadline, you know, for the submission of those questions. Now, based on those views that we would have collected, we will then design the questions. Okay, which is what we'll present. Please note, 90 minutes is a lot of time, but also not a lot.
That's a lot of time, so, but for politicians, it's quite short.
Yes, even for us, I mean, to engage thoroughly on every single issue, 90 minutes is such a small time. So we are hoping that, you know, because of the larger thematic areas, we will pick the most important questions from the public, okay? Just frame them nicely and be able to ask them. So that at the end of the day, because these issues cut across, you know, what affects you most likely affects the next person. So it will be very important for us to try and capture those ones that cut across and affect majority of Kenyans. But if it's a personal question, of course, we will not ask it. But, you know, this is the national debate. The issues must be national. Yes.
Allow me to ask you about the time and the venue and the dates.
Yes.
It's been confirmed?
Yes, we have we held it in Catholic University the last time. We are going back there this time round.
That is in Karen.
That is in Karen. Why we choose the venue is because the venue has, you know, enough facilities for us, and we think there's enough space for us to be able to mount, you know, what we need to mount there. So that is a venue. It is safe, it's secured. The first debate would be on 17th or next month. Let me just confirm the dates. I think we agreed on that yesterday. It's not 17th, it's on July the 11th, which is a Monday. So we will have 3 debates. One running mate debates, and then we have 2 presidential debates. So the first presidential debate will be on July the 11th. It's a Monday from 7 p.m. We'll be ready to go. The second presidential debate will be on 28th of July. So we are hoping that, you know, all the candidates will come back, just in case there are issues which we didn't ask in the first debate. We can be able to ask them in the second debate, but also incorporate emerging issues at the time. Right. The one for the running mates is on July the 20th. So we hope, you know, all the running mates will be able to attend. We have engaged them, we have written to them formally, and, you know, we are confident that they will all be able to turn up on that day.
The venue remains Catholic University from 7:30 p.m.
Yes.
What are the rules of engagement between the sector players and the candidates?
Oh, this is important, and thank you for raising it. You know, for any meaningful discussion to take place, there have to be some basic rules. And the first one is, one, where any communication is formal between the Secretariat and the candidates, so that no one comes back to say we were not informed. I
was not invited.
The engagements are pretty open. If we're going to meet any candidate, we will announce it, so that no one feels like we are favoring one person or the other. We're even careful about how many meetings we undertake with people. So that, you know, there is a sense of fairness and equity in what we're trying to do. So the second most important thing is that we expect people to be civil. You know, it's just common sense. Don't come to a debate and insult your opponent. Okay, this is an opportunity for you to just explain yourself, explain your thinking. Okay, so there has to be decorum, and if no one, I mean, if someone misbehaves, we will kick them out. You know, we will retain the power to decide the right of admission. Thirdly, we have made it very clear to all the candidates that we will not share the questions. Okay, that's the biggest rule. That is the most important thing. Yes, you go and do your homework. You have teams, let them prepare you. Okay, but we will not give you leakage. Neither we indicate, you know, specific subjects that we want to speak to you about. In terms of fairness, you will come in 10 minutes time before we get into the debating center. We will do some sort of raffle, which then also will show us who stands where, okay, which podium, okay, so that we don't choose for you. You don't come and tell us then later that you chose for me this podium, that's why I was not able to speak properly. So we'll do a raffle, and whoever picks the first podium and the last podium then goes to that podium. And so while there, the moderators will state clearly, one, how much time do you have? Okay, what is the format of the debate? We'll take 15 minutes and then we'll take a break, another 15 minutes and we take a break, just to allow, you know, people to be able to take a cup of, a glass of water and, you know, think a bit more critically about the issues that are being raised. So all this will be laid out very clearly. We have already shared the rules of engagement with all the candidates. With all the candidates. Okay. That's a good one. Yeah, so it's up to them to prepare for them. It is very clear the rules are not changing, and we expect that they'll be able to abide by them. So that at the end of the day, like I said, we just want to have a good conversation. Exactly. Okay? Yes. Let Kenyans be knowledgeable, let Kenyans understand who their leaders are, and make their own decision on who they want to be their next president for the next 5 years. You know, this debate comes at a time where the government, we are facing a serious challenge. The corona pandemic is not here with, not out with us yet, and the government is saying that we have to be very much careful. Catholic University has a big hall, and it can accommodate quite a big number.
The production aesthetics, how will it be? Will it be open to the public, and to what number?
Now, for obvious reasons, one, for security reasons, we will not allow many people in.
Yes.
We have told all the candidates just how many people we will need from them, and they are not more than 10.
Yes.
You know, so that we minimize the number of people within the hall. And also, we have to give the public a chance to come and sit and watch the debate and listen, and if possible, you know, make their contribution at that point. So the numbers will be managed. We haven't decided exactly how many. The logistics team, I think, will be at Catholic University today to work out the numbers. So then we are able to distribute among us the most important people we think should come to the venue.
Absolutely.
So in terms of broadcast as well, we will have, you know, broadcast signals available to anyone who wants to broadcast. But of course, you know, certain rules. We would expect that you know, the debate is uninterrupted. Whatever you do with the signal, make sure that the debate for 90 minutes is uninterrupted. You know, you can get your commercials before that or after that or during the break, that's fine. But for us, the most important thing is to allow the candidates to talk to Kenyans. You know, Paul,
most of the candidates, even as Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, we also have our gubernatorial debate. But some of the candidates you hear say that these debates are meant to demean, to embarrass, or just to expose us to the audience or to the public or to the voters out there. And we sometimes get it a bit hard convincing them that, you know what, that's not the whole essence of having a debate. Could you please just confirm that the presidential debate is completely for pure intentions for the audience, for the candidates to come and express themselves, not to embarrass anyone?
Victor, we have no intention of embarrassing anyone.
Right.
Our work as journalists is to rise above any side and provide a professional service. We speak for the voiceless. We speak for the masses. What we're doing here is to exactly bring those issues which are being talked about in bus stops, in barazas, in places, bring them to the table, the national table, and have our leaders respond to them. I said before, this is an industry-wide engagement. Where I come from doesn't matter. Who I work for doesn't matter. What matters at this moment is opportunity to be able to interrogate these people. So anyone coming to this debate should not fear. We have nothing personal. There is nothing malicious about it. And if you are true to yourself, you have no reason to hide. You want to be president? For heaven's sake, allow people to interrogate who you are. And they will look at you from the way you dress, to the way you speak, to the way you stand, to the responses that you give. Because then that gives them a better opportunity to make a judgment. For example, I mean, you remember the Clinton-Trump debate. I mean, those two were two different people.
Yes.
But the audience was able to see who between those two people has the right temperament. You know, you don't want your president to be reckless. You don't want your president to be not to be able to take criticism well. You want your president to be slow to act, to be slow to anger, to be slow to accommodate everybody. Okay? Because 50 million Kenyans will have varied opinions. 50 million Kenyans may not love you, all of them. But at the end of the day, you are the leader. So how do you manage all these facets of society? How do you deal with all this varied opinion? How are you able to address all those issues? That's what we are hoping to do. So the debate is not just about you answering. It's how you do it. It's what you say, how you say it. That is a complete picture of, you know, that we want to bring to Kenyans. They don't get to see this in rallies. You can see people go to a rally, they are disorganized, the candidate, you know, comes to speak for 5 minutes and says what he wants to say and goes away. You know, but here, you are not in control. We are in control, okay? So then we put you to task and allow you the opportunity to ask, and we'll do it in good faith, utmost good faith. And like I said, all these things have been discussed with all the candidates. The script is the same.
Yes.
The letters we are writing are the same. So there shouldn't be any reason for anyone to worry or to be concerned that there will be bias in this discussion.
All right. I don't think, but okay, when you're free to answer that. Is there a particular time that we'll have all the presidential candidates, all of them, same podium, and their running mates at the same podium? Running mates, same day on the same podium, and the presidential candidates, same podium, all of them?
No. We have separated those candidates because we believe that the time is not sufficient.
Yeah, 90 minutes could not be enough.
For us, the issues the president must handle, okay, are extremely important. The running mate is an assistant to the president, okay? So whereas they are equally important, I think the most important person is the leader of that coalition or that presidential ticket. So we thought that it's important that we give Kenyans an opportunity to look at the presidential candidates alone,
yes,
and then look at the running mates alone. You know, the running mates should be people who are to rise to the occasion in case the president is not able to function.
Yes.
I mean, the deputy has to take over.
Yeah.
So who is this deputy and what does this deputy stand for? That is as important as the president himself, but we think that to be able to interrogate these two people, then we have to separate and give them each their respective 90 minutes to explain themselves.
Paint for me a picture. Lights, camera, action. How does that look like on television for those people who will not be at the Catholic University? What should they expect?
Expect a fantastic display. We have done a lot of work around branding. First, the studios will look excellent. You know, this will be state-of-the-art studios because you can tell the investment that we put in.
Exactly.
With about 200 million shillings going into this exercise, you can imagine the kind of stuff that we are going to do.
Yeah.
But other than the display, I mean, for us, really, the moderators will have to be the best people we have at the moment. Yeah. And the best people who can articulate, you know, these questions. So the engagement would be extremely professional, the engagement would be fun, and the engagement would be interesting. We don't want you to sit there and get to sleep, okay? Our work is to try and keep this debate alive.
At the same time, right?
Okay.
Yes.
If the candidate is boring, we have no responsibility to that. But our moderators will be people who are able to ask the right question in the right tone and in the right manner. Okay, so that it gives us the opportunity to continue listening and watching for 90 minutes. Other than that, like I said, we have, you know, done a lot of work around research and questioning and, you know, the logistics around it. Expect a seamless process, you know, from the moment, you know, the candidates walk in to the time they leave. We don't expect that it will be hitches in terms of transmission, in terms of the quality of transmission. So expect a world-class, really broadcast on that day.
And of course, the issue of security, that's something that, you know, all the presidential candidates will take into consideration. Security taken care of?
We are working with the IG to ensure that the venue is safe. In fact, in the last 2 weeks, there will be policemen stationed there. So all the security arrangements would be ready by the time the debate happens. We have informed the candidates as well to ensure that, you know, this happens. Like I said, all the arrangements have been discussed with them, and they include security. So they know what is expected of them. And like I said earlier, we do not expect a crowd to accompany the candidates. We expect just the most important people to come to this debate and let the candidate, you know, discuss his issues with the rest of the country.
All right. Well, I'll give you, because I'm told you're running out of time, the last word, closing remarks. Probably if you can just go through the date on that particular day, then we can wrap it up.
This is a very important exercise, and I think for Kenyans it's an opportunity for you to look at your leaders, then make up your mind about who you want to be your president, chief executive for the next 5 years. Please take this note, take note of these dates. July 11th is the first debate. Wednesday 28th is the first running mate debate and the only one. And then the second and final presidential debate will be on July 28th. What are we trying to do? We're trying to let you have an opportunity to engage. We hope that if you haven't made up your mind, this is an opportunity for you to make up your mind finally. And then let's all come out and vote with the knowledge of who we are voting for. At the end of the day, that's all we have to do as the media, as journalists, give you a phone so that you can make an informed decision.
Paul Ilado, Group Head of Content, Radio Africa, and sitting at the Secretariat of the presidential debate slated for next month. I can't wait to find myself at the Catholic University. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
As you said that you are not an early riser, this is what you do, but you've done your best.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's take a break, but when we come back, we'll be having that discussion, another interview with Honorable Moses Muturi, aspirant, Member of Parliament, Badare, as well as Honorable Said Mohammed, a Senator aspirant, Mandera. That is coming not too long from now. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.